not saying that it's right, but I believe that it's something beautiful about a woman who knows her value and who knows her worth and who knows her strength. And not only does she have this value and strength and wisdom and was wise with words and knew how to persuade people, Delilah was also a beautiful woman. And I think that that's what makes me admire her, because she knew she was beautiful and she did not let her beauty be used in vain. She did not let her beauty be used as a trophy, okay? She used her beauty to get what she wanted and what worked for her. She didn't let anybody trample over her beauty. Like she didn't give her pearls to the swine so they could trample. She used her beauty and it benefited her. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woman of Worth podcast. I am your host, Tanisha Burks. I thank you for joining me on today. I first want to give a shout out to those who have been listening already, those that have been enjoying the videos. It is quite clear to me that videos should have been a thing that I should have been doing a long time ago, because that's where I get the most engagement. Nevertheless, here we are today. I'm doing the video, stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm doing it. If you haven't taken time already, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the podcast. The past few weeks, we've been talking about different women in the Bible, and we've been talking, basically, it's from the book that I'm currently working on called Woman of Worth. And so I guess we can call this the Woman of Worth series that we've been in. And we've been talking about women that have been more of a positive, inspirational type of woman, a woman that has made some mistakes, but is not a woman that sought out to do harm to someone. And this week we're going to take a different approach. We're going to talk about someone who does not have a good rep in the Bible as a woman, and rightfully so. So she does not deserve to be looked at as an honorable woman, I would say. And I hope this doesn't shed too much light on me or makes me look like a bad person. But this, when I've said that a lot of women are like my favorite in the Bible, and they are, because I can see myself in a lot of the women's story in the Bible, right? But I would have to say that Delilah by far is my top number one favorite woman in the Bible. And those of you that know the story of Delilah are probably like, I just know Tanisha did not sit here and say that Delilah is her top number one in the Bible. And yes, she is. Let me tell you, I don't like what she did. But as far as Delilah being a woman that knew her worth, she knew her strength, she walked in her worth, she had a job, and she did the job, and she did the job well. She knew her opponent's weaknesses. She knew his strengths, although she did not know where it lied. She knew his strength. She knew and had so much not, I don't want to say faith, but confidence in herself and in who she was and her words that she used, that she was able to take down one of the strongest men on the earth at that time. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I believe that it's something beautiful about a woman who knows her value and who knows her worth and who knows her strength. And not only does she have this value and strength and wisdom and was wise with words and knew how to persuade people, Delilah was also a beautiful woman. And I think that that's what makes me admire her, because she knew she was beautiful and she did not let her beauty be used in vain. She did not let her beauty be used as a trophy, okay? She used her beauty to get what she want, and what worked for her. She didn't let anybody trample over her beauty. Like she didn't give her pearls to the swine so they could trample. She used her beauty and it benefited her. And I think that even though I don't like what she did, I like the fact that this was a confident, beautiful woman. She was beautiful in her own right. The Bible says that she was beautiful, okay? And she was beautiful in her own right. She knew it, and she wasn't about to let you put her on a pedestal or be your trophy. Just for you to, just for her to realize her beauty and her strength. And a lot of times, women, I think we as women, we get so lost in the wigs, the weaves, the makeup, the eyelashes, the tight clothes, the the form fitting clothes, the different things like that, the name brands and all of that, that we think for some reason that that's the only place where our worth and value can be found. But Delilah is proof that yes, I'm beautiful, but there is way more to me than just my beauty. I know when you look at me, I'm fine. Okay, yes, beautiful. Yes, she is. She she wasn't the type of woman that needed a man to tell her she was beautiful in order for her to feel beautiful. When Delilah walked out the house, Delilah knew who she was. So this is what I love about Delilah. Like I said, I don't believe that it's not that I don't believe. I don't like the fact that she used her greatest strength and her greatest quality that we as all women possess to tear down the greatest man on earth at this time. I don't like that, but I love her strategy and I love her strength and her determination. Listen, she was about her bag. She was gonna get her bag. You gave her a job to do. She was gonna do the job, and she knew she could do it. She had that confidence in herself. She didn't question herself. She didn't. She jumped off. She jumped off the cliff, and she knew that at the end of the day, she was gonna land. Either it was gonna be in Samson's arm, or it was gonna be on her back. Either way, she had to land and prepare for herself, right? So we're gonna talk about Delilah today, and like I said, y'all, I'm not evil. I'm not I'm not out here tearing men down. No, Delilah taught me actually something very different, and what we need to do with our strength, and what we need to do with our value, and what we can do as women to encourage men and to help. Uh, our men become better men. That's what Delilah actually showed me, and that's what I like about her. So her story can actually be found in Judges um chapter 16. But in order to fully understand who Delilah is for those who are new to the Bible and are new to the story, I'm going to try to sum up the story as fast as I can. I shouldn't say as fast, as much as I can. So in order to understand Delilah, you got to understand the man that she was with. Delilah was with a guy named Samson. Now, Samson was born. Okay, so let's go back. Samson's story starts in Judges 13. He was one of the fifth. He was the fifth judge of Israel. Look at me learning it by heart. He was the fifth judge of Israel, right? And he was very, very powerful. Now, when Samson was born, this is something that I learned from reading through the Bible. I had no idea. It was probably something I kind of skipped over. Samson's mom and father could not conceive. They had a hard time conceiving. So Samson was like a miracle baby. When Samson's mom was pregnant with him, God came to her, pretty much told her that she was going to conceive and that she was going to raise her son as a Nazarite. A Nazarite was basically means and you can look this up. I believe it's in Numbers 2 or Leviticus, the Nazarite, what a Nazarite is. But basically a Nazarite was a person that was like dedicated to God. They couldn't touch any dead thing. They could not drink any alcohol or strong drink. And lastly, they could not cut their hair. So Samson had beautiful locks. He had beautiful hair. And many people, and we'll get into this later, many people think that his strength lied in his hair. But we're going to talk about where his actual strength came from, okay? So, he couldn't do these things. I feel in my spirit that Samson was entitled. And the reason I say this is because Samson, when he grows up, he sees a woman that's from Timnath, which is like one of his parents' enemies. These are people that are his parents' enemies. You know, he's an Israelite or whatever and whatnot. And so he sees this woman, he looks upon her, and he falls in love with her. He wants this woman. So Samson, great power, strong man, one weakness, woman. So Samson, I should say two weaknesses. That man was disobedient, and women were were his weakness. Okay, we don't talk about Samson's disobedience, and we're not here to talk about Samson too much. But yes, he was disobedient too. Okay, so um he sees this woman. He wants to marry her. His parents ask him, well, can you marry someone that's from our people? Why would you go and marry somebody that's our enemy? But Samson's so spoiled, he wants to marry this woman. Now, this is why I say he was entitled, because his parents did it. They gave him what he wanted. And I believe that Samson was entitled because Samson probably grew up learning, like, okay, Samson, you're going to be a powerful man. God is going to use you to deliver the children of Israel out of the hands of their enemies. Like, you're going to be powerful, you're strong, you're beautiful. You're handsome and all this stuff, and you're a miracle. So if you hearing all these things and you're the only child and you're a miracle, you're handsome, you're strong, God is going to use you in a mighty powerful way, you're going to feel like you're entitled to some things too. Okay, and that's what I really believe that Samson was entitled. So anyway, he gets this woman. Samson was not just a man of great strength. He was a man of great riddles. Now, on the way to meeting this woman, he ends up killing a lion with his bare hands. Now, I don't know where his parents were when this was happening, but his parents were not with him. So he never told his parents that he kills this lion, right? With his bare hands. Okay? I want you to keep in mind that the Bible says that when this lion came upon him, when this lion came and met him, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson, and Samson killed the lion with his hands, okay? So as they're coming back after he gets this woman, him and his parents, he sees the lion that he killed. The carcass of the lion is still there, and now there's bees and honey in the lion. So what he does is he first break of the Nazarite vow, he takes honey from the lion and he eats it. Not only does he eat it, but he gives it to his mom and father to eat. Didn't tell them that he killed the lion. Didn't tell them where they got the honey from. So in my mind, I'm thinking that his parents were sinning with him when he ate from this honey. So, anyways, he's a man of great power. He's also a man of riddles. So he gives a riddle. He tells the 30 of his enemies, like, if you, I don't know how many enemies, but he says, like, if you can guess this riddle, then I will take 30 of the best robes and I'll give them to you. So what these men do is, because they can't guess the riddle, they persuade his wife to ask him to tell him, I'm sorry, they ask his wife that he's married to at the time to tell her the answer to the riddle, and she will tell them. And she does. She tells them the riddle. He realizes that he is smart enough to know, Samson is smart enough to know that these people, because they struggled with guessing the riddle before, you asked my wife to do it. So if you had not provoked my heifer, that's exactly what he called her. If you not provoked my heifer, you wouldn't have heifer. You wouldn't have known the answer. So what he does is he kills 30 of their men and he takes their robes and gives it to the 30. Okay. So now Samson, during this time, somehow his wife is given to his I think what happened is he kind of like was separated from his wife. He kind of left and was separated, but when he was ready to go back, his father-in-law had given his wife to be married to Samson's best man. Imagine getting married and your best man, your best friend, is now married to your wife. Okay? So Samson is upset and he's mad. So he takes hold on, I want to say this right. He gave the best man to be his wife. Yeah. He took 300 foxes, tied their tails together, and fastened a torch to each pair of tails. He lit the torches and set the foxes loose in the grain of the Philistines, burning up the grain in olive groves. And in response to this, the Philistines take Samson's wife and father and burn them. Samson then slays 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey. Powerful. This is all recorded in Judges 15. So here it is. Samson, he's a we're gonna I don't remember exactly when this happened, but he broke the first Nazarite vow, which was he couldn't touch that thing. He killed the lion, he ate the honey from the lion, which was him touching the dead body. At some point in the story, he breaks the second Nazarite vow, which is he couldn't have strong drink. Samson drinks. The Bible talks about how he was drinking, right? So here's this cocky, powerful man, powerful enemy that the Philistines cannot beat at all. They at this point are like, okay, we cannot get Samson. Where does this man, where does this man's strength lie? Where is he getting his strength from? This question leads me to believe that Samson did not look like the bodybuilders of today. I don't think that Samson was a man that had great muscles. Because if he was a man that had great muscles, there would not be any reason for them to ask, where is his strength coming from? Okay, they would be like, okay, he's muscular. We can go to the gym and we can lift up, well, not the gym because it wasn't a gym back then, but we need to get some muscles like Samson. They wanted to know where his strength lied because Samson did not look like a man that had power. I believe Samson looked like uh Captain America before Captain America before he became Captain America. If you've seen that movie, he was just this little scrawny man, and then he became this very powerful Avenger, right? I believe that that's in my finite mind. That's what I'm thinking. That Samson looked maybe not, maybe like him, maybe but maybe not as scrawny as Captain America. Okay, we'll give him some muscular shape. So, anyways, this is when Delilah enters the chat. Okay, they these Philistines, they get Delilah because one thing they know is that Samson has a weakness for beautiful women. It's already been proven, and they already know that he can be enticed by this woman's beauty, where they can get the woman to convince him, Samson, to tell her where his strength lies, because it's been done before, because the previous wife was able to get information from him. So they promise Delilah a certain amount of money. Delilah, she says, check, done. Do you see me? Got this. She was probably more beautiful than his first wife. Okay. So Delilah, she goes, she agrees. Samson sees her. He falls in love with her. I'm not sure if he ever married her. I don't think the Bible says that he married her. I'm not sure if they ever had anything relational going on in the bedroom. It does not say that. I just know that she was able to entice him. Whatever that means, whatever they did, the Bible does not go into much detail, so we're not going to add any detail to it. So in my mind, this is how the story goes, right? This is in the book, this is how I put it. Delilah, this is Delilah speaking. Samson, you are so strong. You have killed many men with your bare hands. I've never met a man that was strong as you. I feel so safe when I'm with you. Samson, yes, Delilah, you will always be safe with me. Delilah says, I'm so grateful for that. You know how we are women. So tell me, where does your strength lie? Where does this abnormal, awesome strength that keeps me safe, where does it come from? Now, it don't say all that, but I'm just going into detail with it. Is there anything that can bind you or defeat you? Is there anything that can defeat you? Oh, I mean, she was probably stroking that man's ego like, oh my God, not only are you handsome, but you're just so strong. I feel so safe with you. I feel like nothing can harm me. I just gotta know, like, where does the strength come from? It what can I do to even bind you up? Like, if I'm ever play wrestling with you, I don't want you to hurt me. So what can I do? Like, okay, play wrestling? You want to play wrestling? Oh, okay. Right. So this is Samson. I believe he knew in the beginning that Delilah was trying to deceive him. And so he makes up a lie. If they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then I shall be weak and be as another man. This is Judges verses 16 through 7. Verses 16, sorry, this is Judges chapter 16, verse 7. I am stumbling Stacy today, okay? So then Delilah binds him up with the 7 greens, which have not been dried, so that the Philistines provided for her, and she lets the men in waiting, knowing that Samson is bound and they can come in to defeat him. So now the men are coming in, and then Delilah says, Samson, Samson, wake up, the Philistines are upon thee. Samson wakes up, stretches, the green wing, The green, whatever they are, green, the 7 greens, they break, and he defeats the men who were coming to defeat him. So Delilah is upset that Samson has lied to her, and she asks again, where was your strength? Where does your strength lie? Samson, again, he makes up another story. She wakes him up again. Samson, come in. The Philistines are upon you. Stretches, breaks out of whatever he was tied in, and defeats the men again. So by this time, Delilah is mad. Because, like, okay, you playing with me right now. You as Candy said, you're trying me right now. You trying me. You playing. I'm trying to get this back. Okay? I don't know how many more chances they're gonna give me. So now she's putting on the womanness. The and I can't stand some of y'all for doing this, and I'm gonna say it just like that. I can't stand some of y'all with that victim mentality where you are the aggressor, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, they're so aggressive, and now you're the victim. No, honey, you deserve whatever it was that you got because you started it. You are not the victim. You are the victim of my comeback. So if you don't like my comeback, baby, don't come for me. I don't know where that came from, but y'all get on my nerves with that. Stop being a victim. At some point, you got to be victorious. And I have never, well, maybe I have, when I was 10, cried to get my way. Now that I'm a grown woman, I'm going to stand in what I said, and I'm not going to cry to get my way. If your no is no, I don't need nothing from you then. It's no. I'm going to go to somewhere else where I can get the yes. But y'all become a victim, and that just makes me so mad. And Delilah is the woman that created it. Now that I'm looking at this, and I can't stand her for doing it. So that is the one thing I don't like about Delilah, with that reverse victimization thing. You are not the victim. You are the aggressor. Okay? So then she says, Samson, darling, come lay your head on my lap and talk to me. I am really trying so hard to love you. I want to know all there is to know about you, but you won't let me. How can we be in a relationship if you don't trust me? How can we be in a relationship if you don't let me love you? How can we be in a relationship if you don't tell me everything about you? Y'all make me sick. Um, how come you don't trust me? Because you've proven yourself untrustworthy 3 times before. Why would I trust you when each time you ask me, miraculously, the Philistines are coming upon me? So I don't know what happened to Samson's hair. I don't know what type of rubbing on that man's hair she was doing. But Samson tells her where his strength was. You knew what she was doing. She proved it 2 times previously. And you gonna tell her where his strength lies? So Samson says, I want to trust you, but twice you have tried to hand me over to the hand of the Philistines. So here she is. Oh, Samson, that was only so that I could see if you would really protect me. Lies, lies, lies. The lies, the lies. Now that I know you will protect me at all costs, I will never tell them your secret. Why won't you trust me? Why won't you tell her it's true? Y'all see how stupid I look? That's how y'all look. Okay. So now she's begging him, please tell me where your strength lies. Please tell me. So he tells her, there hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall be weak and like any other man. Judges 16 and 17. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, keyword, all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up. Basically, I'm not about to read all this. It's Judges 16:18-20. Basically, she shaved his head. He loses his strength. Now, I do not believe that Samson's strength was in his hair. The Bible declares that when she cut his hair, the presence of the Lord departed him. Samson's strength wasn't in his hair. Samson's strength wasn't in his hands. Samson's strength came from God. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him when he fought the lion. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him when he killed 1,000 with the jawbone of a donkey. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him every time Samson came up against something. When those men came, when the Philistines would come, when Delilah was tricking him and trying to get the truth out of him, the Spirit of the Lord would come upon him. You want to know why the Lord departed Samson? The Lord departed Samson because Samson had broken the last part of the Nazarite vow. He had already touched a dead lion. He already had strong drink, and now his hair is gone. I believe that each time he broke one of those vows, the Spirit of the Lord left him, and now with him now cutting off his hair, the Spirit of the Lord was gone from him. That you have broken the vow. I cannot be with you. You've broken all three of the vows. I believe that if Samson had only cut his hair and he hadn't had strong drink and he hadn't had touched ate that honey from the lion, I strongly believe that if the only thing that he had done, the only part of the vow that he had broken was cutting his hair, that when the Philistines came upon him, he would have woke up the same exact way and defeated the Philistines. But now because you have you have cut me off of you, there is nowhere else for me to dwell, for me to come upon you. So now you are going to be the victim of this wise woman who was able to victimize herself into tricking you to telling you where her strength lies, where your strength lies. I really and truly believe with all of my heart that is exactly what happened. There was no more place for him to dwell because he had broken so many vows. So what does Delilah look like today? In the book, I stress how Delilah is the woman. What we do, women, we're very wise, we're very smart. And where is a man's greatest strength? Where is a man's greatest heart and his greatest treasure? Besides himself. Okay? And him looking good. And his height. Where's this man's greatest strength besides his character? You can find a man's heart in his children. Point blank, a good man, a real man. You're gonna find his greatest strength is in his children. And one of the things that I absolutely cannot stand about women is a woman that has a man in her life that they have brought a child into the world together and the relationship didn't work out and the man is moving on with his life and he actually wants to be an active participant in his child's life. He don't just want to pay child support and not be in the life, but he wants to pay child support and spend time with his child. And you are bitter and upset because this man is moving on with another woman, and so now you want to take these kids and use them to ruin this man's life and to wreak havoc in his life to try to come between this new relationship or some type of way. And to me, that's just like the dumbest thing. Because like if this man is not for you and he has made it clear that he's not for you and he's moved on to somebody else, and obviously it was something he did that you didn't like as well, and that you didn't want in the relationship, why are you holding on to him? And why are you using these innocent children who, for one, did not ask you to birth them? They did not ask to be here. Okay? My kids tell me that all the time. We didn't ask to be here. And it used to make me mad, but now I get it. So why would you take these innocent children, strip them of a father in their life because you're mad because he moved on? Make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Listen, the main reason it doesn't make sense to me is because I watched my kids grow up without a father. Not because it was by choice or not because we wasn't together, but because they were deceased. So to me, it's an insult when I watch a woman who has a man that actually wants to be a part of their child's life and they're alive and well and they're doing everything they can. Like, why should a man have to go through a court system to get you to let him see his kids? I mean, mommy day A mommy makeover don't need to happen where you getting cut up on. A mommy makeover can be you simply having some time to yourself, to go to the mall, to get your nails done, to get your hair done, go to a movie, take yourself out to eat. And if you don't want to take yourself out to go on a date with somebody else, stop all this bitter baby mama stuff. Like, why? Let it go. Let that man go on. And then now you're coming between this man and his relationship because I don't want no other woman taking care of my kids. No, she's not. She's assisting the father in taking care of this child and helping you. Ooh, I had to catch my tongue because I was about to say helping you, dummy, with your child. Now this child has another person in their life that loves them just as much as you do. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some women who don't like other people's kids. In that case, yeah, then something needs to be said. But when you're just taking your child and stripping them of that opportunity to have, if they can't have a two-parent household, to at least have two loving parents, there is something wrong with that. You are not the victim. You are the aggressor. Let it go. And I know I'm being harsh. I know I'm being mean. But like I said, it makes me sick because I didn't have the opportunity to argue with anybody about what school my kids should go to or what shoes they should wear and different things. Like I didn't have that opportunity. And I believe that if their fathers had been alive, I probably wouldn't have wasted my time arguing. I probably wouldn't have wasted my time trying to keep them away. I would have said, when do you want your child? When do you want your daughter? When do you want your son? And how long are you keeping them? Okay. So these are the women that I see. Now I understand there's some men, like I said, that just don't want to pay. They get mad at you because they don't want to pay child support. I'm not talking about those men. I'm not talking about those. What I'm gonna tell you to do with that, if he don't want to pay child support and if he don't want to take care of his child, if he don't want to do what he's supposed to do as a father, honey, there is a man that will love you and those kids, and he will step in and play the father role for that child and love those kids just like they came from him. So I'm saying, in that case, don't be sitting up here trying to make this man do what he's supposed to do. How you look making a grown man do what he's supposed to do if his mama didn't even teach him right? And his mama couldn't even get him to do it, because if she did teach him and if she could get him to be a better man, then he would be one. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about and saying what I'm saying. I ain't talking about nobody, and I'm not talking about myself because my baby daddies were awesome. Okay. So, in conclusion, we as women, we're wordsmiths. We're very powerful with our words. You see, Woman of Worth podcast, very powerful, very persuasive with our words. We have the ability to make a man feel as strong and powerful as Samson, or we can make him feel as small as the cowardly lion, having strength but feeling weak as ever. Delilah knew exactly what to say to Samson to get her to trust him, to get him to trust her. Delilah knew exactly what to say to Samson to get him to trust her. She knew exactly what to say to get that man to lay his head in her lap like he was a child. And I don't think we as women truly know the power and the privilege it is to truly have a man's heart. I'm going to read from the book because I want to say it exactly how it was said in this book. Ladies, you don't know the power and privilege it is to truly have a man's heart. It's not easy for a man to trust anyone with the most vulnerable piece of him that will leave him weak when he hands it out. When a man gives you his heart, you have his total being. You have everything. That's power to hold that heart in your hand. You can crush it or you can care for it. You can take gentle care in that man's heart. When a man trusts you enough to lay his head in your lap, he's not doing it for show. Now, some may be doing it because they want something else. You got to ask God for discernment on that. But he's doing it because he trusts that his heart is safe with you and you bring this man some type of peace. We are supposed to be a man's peace and he's our safety. That's why I keep feeling like Delilah kept bringing up, I feel so safe with you. I feel so safe with you. Because a man is supposed to be our safety. He provides safety for us, okay? And we provide in return his peace. Because, I mean, back in the days, the man was the one that was going out and working in the field. And so when he came home, his woman was his peace. She wasn't his headache, okay? She wasn't Delilah. I know Delilah was a headache. Said, man, where would you tell me? I know, like Kevin Hart said, we look like the first slave when we cry. I bet you she looked like the first, second, and third slave. I know she put on that victim role. I know she did it. So this is where Delilah went wrong, and this is where many of us go wrong. When we get upset with the man, instead of keeping his secret, we go and tell everyone everything he told us to point out his weakness so that other people can kill his character. When we do this, we are literally bruising this man, and it makes him not trust, and furthermore makes us untrustworthy. And we do the same thing with our sons. When we think we're telling our family things that our son has done, and we're telling that funny story, actually you're embarrassing that boy. And what you're showing him is that he cannot trust his heart with you. He can't trust you. You're untrustworthy. That's what you're showing him. Here's another mistake that Delilah made, and then we're gonna go for real. She did not take into account what she had in Samson. This is where she messed up. Now, this is what I would have did. I was the strongest man. I got an opportunity to make some money. I got an opportunity to take this money, tell my man what these men want to do. I'm with the strongest man in the world. So, baby, listen. These men, they're trying to kill you. This is my plan. We're going to take that money. I'm going to tell them that you told me where your strength lies. I know where it lies, but I'm not going to tell them. And I'm not going to worry about them coming to the house to try to defeat us because you're going to take care of that. And they're not going to come for me for the money because they're already scared of you. So I'm not going to worry about it. That's where she messed up. That's what a good woman would have done. She would say, yeah, we're going to get this bag. I'm going to tell them I know how much you want me to get. You want me to get a little bit extra? Okay. They about to come in the house. Thank you for telling me your secret. I love you. It stays between me and you. They coming in. We got the money. Y'all get what I'm saying? That's where she messed up at. She had the opportunity to do the right thing. But right thing, wrong woman. Right man, wrong woman. What a tragic combination. We can't be so focused on the love of money and getting the bag that we miss the treasure in a good fine, a good fine, and strong, a godly man. It's getting hot in here. That is willing to let down his guard and invite us in his heart. When you get the key to that man's heart, lock it up and don't give it away to anyone else. There isn't any amount of money that's worth more than a man's whole heart, not half his heart. Honey, this is what they mean when they say money can't buy you love. When you get a man's whole heart, that man is willing to kill a lion with his bare hands, okay? For you to protect his family with his whole heart, okay? It's something about the way a man loves a woman with his whole heart that gives you a feeling that's indescribable. Don't sell that, ladies. So many of us sell it. Stop selling out. Money can buy many things, but it definitely won't buy a man's heart. It's the treasure we all seek. We all want love. We all want our husbands. We all want the good man. We want the fine man, tall, strong, black, white chocolate, okay? We want it. Deep voice is something about a man with a deep voice. Honey, very white me, okay? Okay. So We treasure it, we want it, we seek it, and when we get it, we mishandle it. Now, I'm not saying they don't mishandle us. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Delilah, okay? We mishandled it. So, in conclusion, don't be like Delilah, ladies. Use the power you have and protect that man's heart. Don't be Delilah. Don't chase the bag and drop the heart. Be about the heart and drop the bag. All right? God bless.